This is the video installation guide for the Harbor Breeze 52-inch paddle stream ceiling fan. The ceiling fan is a tri-mount fan, meaning that it can be hung flush on a low ceiling, on a standard flat ceiling with the included downrod, or on an angled ceiling with an extension downrod sold separately. This fan features a remote control, a dimmable LED light kit with 2 LED bulbs included, and a simple wiring harness to make installation easy. This video will cover the complete installation, but if you'd like to fast forward to a certain step in the installation, click one of the links below in the description, and that'll take you directly to that step. If you find this video helpful, please click like and subscribe. Okay, let's begin. Before installing the ceiling fan, you want to make sure that the outlet box is clearly marked acceptable for fan support. If not, please replace the outlet box before beginning. Also, as with any electrical project, you want to make sure that the electric is turned off at the breaker box and at the wall switch. If you don't feel comfortable working with electricity, please consult with a licensed electrician. Start by unpacking the fan and open the manual to the parts page to make sure that you have all the pieces before beginning. First up is the mounting bracket, which comes pre-assembled inside the canopy with a decorative ring on the bottom. Next you have the ball and downrod assembly. You have the fan motor, you have 5 blade arms, 5 reversible blades with sand and espresso finishes. Next is the light kit. The light kit comes pre-assembled with the bowl cap and the finial. You'll have a remote control, which comes with a wall cradle included, along with the receiver and the hardware pack with 2 screws and plastic wire nuts. You'll have the extension wiring if you're using an extension downrod. There's the hardware pack with blade attachment screws, blade arm screws, plastic wire nuts, a rubber grommet for close to ceiling installation, and a plastic plug for non-light kit installation. You'll also have 2 dimmable LED bulbs and a glass bowl shade. Some tools we'll need for the installation include pliers if installing without the light kit, electrical tape, a Phillips head screwdriver. You may need some wire cutters and strippers, and of course a ladder. Now we have all the parts and tools, we can get started. The mounting bracket comes pre-assembled inside the canopy. You'll need to remove that before beginning. The canopy also has the decorative ring on the bottom. To remove the mounting bracket from the canopy, you'll first loosen but not remove the 2 screws in the J slots on either side of the canopy. Once those 2 screws are loosened, you'll remove and save the standard screws on either side of the canopy. Once those screws are removed, simply twist the mounting bracket counterclockwise to remove it from the canopy. To install the mounting bracket, you'll first need to remove and save the 2 screws from the outlet box using a Phillips head screwdriver. Next, you'll align the slots of the mounting bracket with the 2 screw posts in the outlet box. Feed the wires from the house wiring through the center hole of the mounting bracket, align those slots with the screw posts, and insert the screws that were removed from the outlet box. Use a Phillips head screwdriver to completely tighten both of these screws and secure the mounting bracket to the ceiling. The fan ships with 5 rubber motor stops to prevent the motor from moving during shipment. Before proceeding, use a Phillips head screwdriver to remove and discard those 5 rubber motor stops. For flush mount installation, begin by removing 3 of the 6 screws on top of the motor housing. This is just every other screw. Use a Phillips head screwdriver to remove and save 3 of the 6 screws. Next, you'll remove the decorative ring from the bottom of the canopy by pressing on the tabs inside of the canopy. There are 3 tabs. Just press them with your thumb to remove the decorative ring. Next, take the rubber grommet from the hardware pack and feed the wires from the fan through the rubber grommet and place the rubber grommet over the screws on top of the motor housing. Next, feed the wires through the bottom of the canopy so the largest portion of the canopy is facing towards the ceiling, and align the notched cutouts with the screws that remain in the top of the motor. This will align the screw holes of the canopy with the screw holes in the top of the motor from the screws that were removed and saved. Use a Phillips head screwdriver and the 3 screws that were removed and saved to attach the canopy to the top of the motor. Make sure all 3 screws are completely tightened. The mounting bracket has a hook on it to help hang the fan before wiring. Use the standard screw hole, not the J-slot, and insert that hook into the screw hole. This will hold the fan in place while you're wiring. Do not leave the fan unattended when it's hanging like this. For downrod installation, you'll first remove and save the locking pin and hanging pin from the bottom of the downrod assembly. Next, use a Phillips head screwdriver to loosen but not remove the 2 set screws on the motor collar on top of the motor. Then, feed the wires through the bottom of the canopy so that the largest opening of the canopy is facing towards the ceiling. Next, feed the wires through the bottom of the ball and downrod assembly so the wires exit through the ball portion. Then, pull the canopy up onto the ball and downrod assembly and align the holes at the bottom of the downrod with the holes in the motor collar. Insert the hanger pin through the hole in the motor collar, then through the holes in the downrod so that it exits through the opposite side of the motor collar. Make sure not to jam the wires inside the motor collar. Then use the locking pin and insert the locking pin through the end of the hanger pin. Finish the downrod installation by using a Phillips head screwdriver to completely tighten the 2 set screws on the motor collar that were previously loosened. Make sure both screws are completely tightened. Before hanging the fan, it's important to note the tab in the mounting bracket that will align with the slot of the ball and downrod assembly. When hanging the fan, you'll insert the ball into the mounting bracket and rotate the entire fan assembly until you feel the slot engage the tab. This is just a demonstration. To hang the fan, lift the entire fan assembly up towards the ceiling. Note the location of the slot in the ball and downrod. Slide the ball into the mounting bracket, and then rotate the entire fan assembly until you feel that slot engage the tab of the mounting bracket. The fan will drop into place when properly seated in the mounting bracket. Before installing the remote receiver, make sure the wires from the house and fan aren't in the way, and then slide the remote receiver on top of the ball and downrod. Make sure the flat side of the receiver is facing towards the ceiling. Feed the antenna through the mounting bracket, and then slide into place. This is the same for flush mount installation, only you won't have the ball and downrod assembly. Connect the fan to the receiver by plugging the male end of the fan wires into the female end of the receiver wires. This plug will snap into place. Take the green wires from the ball and downrod assembly and the mounting bracket and twist those 2 wires together. If flush mounting, you'll only have 1 green wire from the mounting bracket. Then take those 2 strands and twist those together with the bare copper house wire. These are the ground wires. Finish the connection using a plastic wire nut and a piece of electrical tape. Next, take the black wire from the receiver and connect that wire with the black or hot wire from the house supply lines. Twist those two wires together and finish the connection using a plastic wire nut and a piece of electrical tape. Next, take the white wire from the receiver and twist that wire together with the white wire from the house supply lines. Finish the connection using an included plastic wire nut and a piece of electrical tape. Once all the connections have been made, gently tuck the wires around the mounting bracket to make room for the canopy to attach. To attach the canopy to the mounting bracket and flush mount installation, lift the fan motor assembly off the hook and tuck the wires into the canopy, then push the fan motor assembly up towards the ceiling and engage the two J-slots of the canopy with the two screws that were loosened in the mounting bracket. Tighten the two J-slotted screws and then reinsert the two screws that were removed in the first step. Attach the canopy by lifting the canopy towards the ceiling and engaging the two J-slots with the screws that were loosened in the mounting bracket. Then use a Phillips head screwdriver and insert one of the screws that was removed and saved in the first step into the standard screw hole of the canopy and completely tighten. Repeat this process for the other remaining screw that was removed, and then completely tighten the two screws in the J-slots. Before attaching the blades to the blade arms, choose which finish you'd like to use and make sure that that finish is facing towards the floor and the opposite finish is facing towards the ceiling. Then place the blade onto the blade arm, aligning the three screw holes in the blade with the three posts of the blade arm. Then use the blade attachment screws to fasten the blade to the blade arm. Use a Phillips screwdriver to completely tighten all three screws. Repeat for the four remaining blades. Attach the blade assemblies to the fan using the two screw holes in the blade arm that align with the two screw holes in the bottom of the fan motor. Place the blade arm in position and use two blade arm attachment screws to fasten it to the motor. Repeat this process for the four remaining blade assemblies. Once all of the blade assemblies are installed, go back and double check to make sure that all of the blade arm attachment screws are completely tightened. The light kit attaches to the fan using the three pre-installed screws on the switch cap of the light kit. Those screws will align with the one standard screw hole and the two J-slots on the switch cup of the fan. First, remove and save the one screw that is to the left of the notched cutout on the switch cap. Then loosen, but do not remove, the two remaining screws on the switch cap. Wiring the light kit is easy using the molded adapter plugs of the fan and the light kit. Connect the white wire from the light kit to the white wire from the fan and the black wire from the light kit to the blue wire from the fan. Gently tuck the wires into the switch cap and the switch cup and align the two loosened screws with the two J-slots in the switch cup. Then push up and twist to engage those slots and hold in place before tightening the screws. Use a Phillips head screwdriver to tighten one of the screws in the J-slots, and then reinsert the screw that was removed and saved at the beginning of this step into the standard screw hole of the switch cap and switch cup. Completely tighten that screw, and then tighten the remaining screw on the opposite side of the switch cup. Make sure all three screws are completely tightened. Remove the finial and bowl cap from the light kit by unscrewing the finial from the threaded post of the light kit. Next, install the two LED bulbs by screwing them into the light sockets. Installing the glass bowl, note the white disc at the bottom of the light kit that will align with the large hole in the bottom of the bowl. Place the bowl onto the light kit so that white disc is flush onto the bottom of the bowl. Hold the bowl in position and place the bowl cap over the threaded post and screw the finial onto the threaded post. Make sure not to over-tighten, as that could cause the bowl to crack. To install the fan without the light kit, you'll first need to remove the switch cap from the light kit. Do that by using a pair of pliers to loosen and remove the hex nut holding the switch cap onto the light kit. Remove the hex nut from the threaded post and then feed the wires one by one through the hex nut to remove completely. Then, remove the switch cap by unscrewing it from the threaded post of the light kit. Gently pull the wires one at a time through the center hole of the switch cap to completely remove it. Then, use the plastic plug located in the hardware pack and place that into the center hole of the switch cap and simply press it in place. The switch cap attaches to the fan using one standard screw hole and two J-slotted screw holes that will align with the screws in the switch cap. First, remove and save the one screw to the left of the notched cutout of the switch cap. Then loosen, but do not remove, the two remaining screws. Align the two loosened screws in the switch cap with the two J-slots of the switch cup. Push up and twist to engage those slots. Then use a Phillips head screwdriver to tighten those screws. Then reinsert the screw that was removed and saved into the standard screw hole of the switch cup and switch cap. Make sure all three screws are completely tightened. This fan features a 3-speed reversible motor. The reverse switch is located right above the light bulb. Switch up reveals a snowflake icon. This creates an upward movement for use during the cooler months to draw warm air from the ceiling. Switch down reveals a sun icon, which creates a downward airflow for use during the warmer months to create a cooling effect. Before using the remote, you'll need to install the battery. Remove the remote control from the wall cradle and then remove the battery compartment cover. Place the battery in the battery compartment according to the diagram inside the battery compartment. Note the dip switches and the learn button located in the battery compartment. You may want to change the dip switch settings if you have another remote control fan in the house. Once the battery is installed, replace the battery compartment cover. The remote includes a wall cradle for convenient storage when not in use. Remove the screw cover by sliding it up, and place the wall cradle where you'd want it next to a wall switch, and use the two included screws to attach the wall cradle to the wall. Then, replace the screw cover by sliding it into position. If you have more than one remote control ceiling fan in the house, or are experiencing remote interference, it's a good idea to change the dip switch settings in the remote. Do this using a small tool to set the dip switches in any combination of up or down. Next, cut power to the fan at the breaker box or at the wall switch, and note the location of the learn button. Then, return power to the fan at the wall switch and the breaker box, and then within 30 seconds, press and hold the learn button. The light kit of the fan will blink once the pairing is complete. Your fan has 3 speeds, controlled by the remote control. Press the 1 button for low speed, the 2 button for medium speed, the 3 button for high speed, and the 0 button to turn the fan off. Press and release the light button to turn the light on. Press and release again to turn it off. Press and hold the light button to cycle through the dimming feature from brightness to dim to bright again. Release the button when your desired brightness is achieved. That's it. The ceiling fan installation is complete. If you found this video helpful, please click like and subscribe down below. That'll help other people find the video as well. Thanks for watching.